Right. Welcome back, everyone, to A Programmer Plays The Last Campfire. In our previous episode, we made pretty decent headway with the bird stuff. We managed to get through the swamp, get through the orchard area, get down to the dam area, and open up the water. Recently gotten a key, lets us go through some doors. I am being nosy. I'm gonna poke around a bit more because I don't feel like we've finished this area, and the longer I sit on it, the more I'm like, I wanna. I know that there's something here. I just don't know what. Like this bit right here, where we've got a couple of blocks, and I feel like I'm missing something really obvious. Like, I don't see what we need these blocks for. That's gotta be something, right? Like, there has to be some reason to have this little section down here. And it feels like these stepper stones are significant somehow, because it lets us stack these. But beyond that, I'm like, that's kind of the limit of what we can do right there. Surely it's not like that's the two things. No. Yeah, I remain bewildered by this, and I don't like it. Any wisdom?
The ghost said, "You have done all you can, little one.
Nope, not for me.
Your journey lies ahead."
Because if we look at our little thingy, we saw it very briefly there, where we've got two unfound chests in this room. Where? Where could they possibly be? Part of our problem here is that the chests do kind of look the same as like just blocks of stone, so it's pretty. Think you see one and then you don't, doubting yourself. Future ones. Hey, here's one. There we go. All right.
Found a lost message. To see hope fade in those you care for. The harder I squeeze, the quicker it slips away.
All right. So that's one. That imply, to me, it implies that the other one's probably slightly out of the way. And it feels like the answer is it's probably got something to do with this. But how? I've been all over the place with these blocks, and I have not. Whatever it is, I'm not seeing it. I've just completely missed whatever the prompt is about those blocks. don't think that more soup, but maybe. Let's grab some and see. Fight the pig more.
Hello there. Thank you for everything. Take this and be well, little
All
one.
right, let's see if we walk past the pig. Does he eat it again? Because it might be a case of we need to get this past the pig without him eating. We find a different. Make a lot of sense. For how we could though.
The pig was joy. My insides feel I did not dream we will plant a compliment to the chef.
But he's blue now. Which he was before, but it didn't like stick. Gotten all 4 chests in this room. So you'll see this concept applied fairly often in video games where the developer will deliberately like lock you in to a smaller area so that the player, oh interesting, and he's not blue anymore. Developers will sometimes lock you into smaller play areas so that the player's not so overwhelmed with choice. This area is kind of a good example of that because there's a slide, a tube that we go down to get into this area, and we can't go back up that until we complete this area. So it essentially sequesters this down and prevents us from like carrying some soup to like every NPC in the game. I'd be willing to bet that we can't bring the soup into this. I might be totally wrong. There might be a whole sequence there that I've not determined. Because we are short on. But it's not quite into. We are short on a lot of forgotten things. Like I was saying last episode, I'm betting that we're like 3/4 or 2/3 of the way through the game. Here he is.
Yeah, don't betray the Forest King again.
Okay. Can't just go talk to him. There is this elevator right here that we haven't activated yet, so we'll go down here again and see if we can figure that out. I'm betting we can. Feels like there ought to be, like it ought to be right there, you know? Our friend who had the crab there. I don't. What I was about to do is climb the wall again, see if the lift is at the top there. I don't think that that's the scenario. Doesn't fit the vibe, so.
The boat was a perfect fit for Ember. It felt like they were on the right path at last. Inside was a scrap of journal. Less and less grows here. I dare not go in the caves alone. The spiders whisper. Their cobwebs glitter. I am not sure I am ready.
Oh man, this looked like a perfect ember-sized hole right here, and it just wasn't. Oh, I'm a little disappointed by that. I don't think I can go over here, but I'm gonna check just to be thorough. Yeah. On we go, I guess.
The passageway was dark and eerily silent. Ember wondered why the dam had been blocked.
Interesting, the waves behind the boat are very clearly tied to starting a push, which makes perfect sense. Like, yeah, that's how the boat moves, so of course the wake would be from that. But I'm betting that there's some practical reasons for that. From a, hey, don't create geometry endlessly. Hey, add a new segment or reshuffle a segment every time the key.
There was a lens on the wall. It looked dull in the darkness.
Yeah, okay. Berlin.
It looked like the crystal could be turned, but the handles were retracted.
Friend. Finding the little skeletons all over the place is disconcerting. I I think that's the intention. Hopefully, because the animation was so snappy. Just pop.
As the gate opened, a thought occurred. What was the gate keeping locked away?
I'm not gonna lie, that felt too easy. That felt entirely too easy. This game's not been hard. It's been occasionally a little bit cryptic and a little bit picky, but it's not hard. But that felt too easy. Yeah, dang it. I was like, I wonder if there's other stuff here that I need to look at. The answer was yes. So, that's a little bit of time wasted. Wow, it's actually really weird to see the world backwards, so to speak. Ah, okay. little subtle, but not subtle, just slightly. The camera wasn't framing it the most obvious way. But we did get a platform raised up over there, which will let us get to that treasure chest. So, again, not hard, but, you know, a little indirect, so sometimes that's what games want to be.
The Wanderer's Diary. Frogs play at the feet of fallen statues. Simple, splashy, happy little hoppers. They seem content in the home they've made.
Feels like we did that. Like it looks, you know, like a perfect platform size. I think the intention there is just, hey, let's reuse assets that we have to make stuff. And hey, the assets that we have sometimes are used as walkways. That sort of standard size look. It's like, hey, this thing is 1 meter in size. I appreciate that snaps to the angles that it needs to be. Always kind of annoying when those things are just like a little bit wrong, both in terms of like lining it up as gameplay, but also just aesthetically, like a little OCD part of our brains kicking in and being like, no, but it should.
Embo had found another unlit campfire at the heart of the cave.
Right. Again, a lot of shortcuts that we can open up. Interesting. There's not a lot of point to doing this, but I'm gonna do it anyways because brain happy. Yeah, right here. I don't need to do that, but I'm gonna. Yeah. And I guess I could talk to this.
The ghost said, "Speak and I will listen." This is the cave of regret. Fear would not allow hope to find a perch here. You must not lose hope, or you too will turn. Ember thought of those they loved, those they'd left behind. There are others lost. Find them and I will guide them. Not far from this campfire, a path runs north. Where the pathway ends, a forlorn lies helpless.
Oh. Animation of that is interesting, where it flexes a little bit as it lands. Feels structurally unsound, how we say.
The stranger was wary, coiled and tense.
Oh, I see. Okay. Can I roll this while I'm on it? Or can.
The dark had gifted them friends in the past. The dark had stolen much more. Would this new light do the same?
that felt like it was going to be more complex than it was. There's little, like, I don't know how well they show up on YouTube compression, but under the water there's additional little pathways that we could have taken that we just had no need.
The stranger whispered, "I'm so tired. Do you know the way?"
Right? That one. Looks like we gotta do the rest of that room from a totally different angle. Interact with the spiral count. Unlocking boat paths. Okay, gotcha.
The stranger was tired of pretending. They'd never have made it on their own.
No. Not
Fortune
entirely
had
sure why we
always
needed to
favored
do
them.
that, but oh. Hold on. I need on this guy. And now we can ride this. Well, I think. Or can we not? Is it bridge too far? I think it's bridge too far. Right? Alright, so hold on. Let's back this up in the air. I want to get up here. So if I now I'm blocking why the head and tail of these is a rather clever little puzzle element, because it does kind of it restricts us from being able to put these up in a particular way, if that makes sense. So I think that, and I think this will work. That was I
Had they
probably made
deserved
that
to
more
make it
complicated
this
than I
far?
needed, but it worked.
stranger spoke simply. Thank you.
Now open again. Never eventually might need it. By whomever I need.
Ember found the Wanderer's diary. The earth resists my wishes. The lanthorn will not answer when I blow. I must be rid of it. I hide the wretched instruments deep in a riddle.
Interesting to find that here. That feels like a diary that we would have found closer to when we got the lanthorn. This shiny little cave. Oh, hello.
The stranger seemed troubled. I ran away from those birds, but I can't find the end. The Forest King offered me a feather. Maybe I should just take it.
Ah, okay. Too far. Much inertia. I did.
The stranger muttered, "Well, I'm not falling for that again."
Wonder what that means.
Ember uncovered a journal entry. I dock my boat at the final harbor. Soft drips drip dripping over slick black rock. Something hisses from the dark.
Is it just me, or did the verbal dialogue of that not actually match the written? It sounded like they said soft drips, drip, drip, dripping. That was soft. That might have just been me. I'll have to review the footage later. Interesting to find a couple people. That's going to be a tube. Run to the other side. Light into there. Yep.
A shadow moved in the distance. Ember hoped that it was a trick of the light. The stranger whispered, "Seen one just like you around here a lot. Creepy that one is. Peeping out, watching you." "Yeah, watching you. Specifically you."
Alright, the addition of that very last, specifically you, is unsettling. Okay, and so once that lever is open... Gotcha. Hold the barrels. Nice. Cool.
Ember felt pity for the skeleton, without a flower to mark their grave.
I do not have
Ember
a flower.
had nothing to offer.
I'm trying to think if we've seen a flower that we can collect. Nothing jumps to mind. I'm awful forgetful.
The stranger had misplaced a memory.
Okay. 3. That's definitely it. little tricky.
They tried to remember but found more voids.
Alright, so. We got a 5. That pretty cleanly fits there. This one. Pull this guy out. I can pull the this. Here, there we go. There's the 3. Okay. No. Might work. If I use this one to fill all of that in. Boned this up pretty badly. Let's reset. I think what we want. Coming back, don't worry. But we want the 3 up there in the top left. And I think we want the 5 bottom left and
The stranger had misplaced a memory.
6 in the bottom right. So if I do this, that should
They tried to remember but
thus
found
enough
more
room.
voids.
I think. There's the 3.
Only
Perfect.
the shape of the thought remained.
Making headway. Definitely feeling pretty last chaptery, this area. Not sure what it is about this area that feels last chapter.
The stranger looked around fearfully. I stayed in the nest too long.
And no. We'll be back for you, Skeleton. The flower, hopefully. rest of the area. So now we can take our boat there.
The creature's body slithered between the rocks, seeming to never end.
That's a big snake. This does not feel like a game that would have a final boss boats. But we might have an interesting spirited discussion about a snake. Not fine. Got this.
Terror gripped Ember suddenly. Fear overwhelmed them.
That it's or has a mechanical base. Just getting over screen. No, okay. Wow, that's a really surprising scripted event. Huh.
The splintered plank was all that remained of Ember's boat. They sat for a moment and despaired. Perhaps the Forest King was right. There was no hope here.
Alright, it's subtle, but the text is rotating in a kind of floating kind of way, a bobbing on the water kind of way. That's a nice little detail. Not expecting such a cutscene.
A discarded builder robot. The poor thing was rusted in place.
Alright,
The
we
builder's
know what a
thoughts
builder
were
robot
stuck in a
is.
loop.
And also B, does this imply that it has a soul? Are we
Turning slowly to rust, only the echoes for company. Disconnected gears in their head turning round and round. Each unshared moment went the same.
if this puzzle
Lost
is
and
what I think
uncared
it
for
is,
was
then
a
it is
dim glow.
kind of surprising because all of
The
the
years of loneliness had warped the builder's feelings.
those were basically
Perhaps they should be
non-puzzles.
Time spent with others felt like a false memory. The soundless days measured piece by piece. Who's there? I can't see. It's dark, I'm ever so afraid. Keep talking to me, please. Aye. The feathered ones did this to me. It's been so long since I've seen anyone. Since I've talked to anyone. I can feel the warmth of the sun on it. An outside place. It's okay if you don't want to help, but it would be so nice to see what you look like. It was wonderful to meet you. Don't forget me, please. The others never came back.
I must admit, the builder design was not what I expected. I was assuming that it was just the body that we were looking at and not hey, this is essentially a walking head. That's a good little character design. It is. Okay, so we're here. Gotcha. Seems very economical with its room. You know, pulling rooms back that we've seen before. I'm definitely doing this like the slowest way possible, but yeah. Kind of enjoy this. Actually, hold on. My intuition about this is wrong. That's interesting. My intuition was you keep spinning it and it'll eventually cycle through all of the faces, but that's just not true in a four grid system. Yeah. Probably a whole bunch of interesting, like,
was a scrap of
mathematical
journal.
properties of
The
rotating
snake is
a
drawn to the light.
one-sided cube.
They are not so fearsome after all. I think they mean no harm.
Ah, the eye. I completely accidentally skipped the description. Yeah, good enough. Something else? No. Back into the cave. I definitely wasted a fair bit of time expecting the cube to behave in a way that it just did not. Mathematically didn't work out. But we'll have a true intuition of how that math works out. So, goodbye.
The builder took a moment as they tried to focus their eye on the small blue figure in front of them.
I'm trying to figure out if the iris here is actually a true iris or if it's a little bit too much motion for me to be able to tell. There's kind of two ways that this could work. It could be that each blade of the iris is actually like a separate little model and they overlap just like irises work in the real world. Easier way to do this from a modeling perspective would be the iris is more like a donut shape where it's in a ring, and just the inner part of the ring, the inner vertices are stretched and the texture deforms as those vertices move, and as long as you have the corners of them aligned with the texture, then it'll all work out and look the same. I'm betting that's what they did. That's what I would have done. Quite tell. There is a tiny bit of a corner there that makes me think they might have actually modeled the iris as an iris. That would be
what you look like.
Yeah, they did. If you look this corner right there, there's a little bit of rounding there that's inconsistent depending on whether it's open or closed. They really did actually model the blades of the iris. I'm a little impressed by
I don't know what I
that.
expected, but
That's
you have a kind face.
a little bit of a pain in the butt.
Sorry, I don't mean to make you uncomfortable. It's just been so long since I've seen anyone. I've never been good at talking to others. You seem different somehow. Wait, how did you get here? Oh, that's unfortunate. You'll be stuck here. The builders seem to have an idea. You know, maybe I can help you.
Come on, bud. Like his little gyroscope at the top.
This is so exciting. This is what I was made for. It's been so long since I made something for someone. Ember watched in amazement. Could I get your input for a moment?
Ooh, choices. Duck.
The scraps of broken wood and metal were being transformed. Could I get your input for a moment?
Ooh.
Whatever
Winter
the
duck.
builder was making was nearly ready. I feel sorry it's a bit rough around the edges. It's, definitely seaworthy.
Yeah, winter duck.
You hate it, don't you? Ember stood in stunned silence. That is such a relief. Really warms my pistons. I'm so happy. Oh no. I'm not... Oh, that's very kind of you. Truly, I would if I could. But if you see any others, perhaps ask them to visit the builder. Ember would come back if they could. Perhaps the builder just needed more time. The bolt was a little unconventional, but Ember already loved it.
That definitely felt like metaphor for something more. Don't force people out of the closet, chat. They'll be, when they're ready, they'll be ready. There's our flower. Yes. Right. Come on, winter duck. Huh. I guess this is it for this particular room. Rising. Ah, okay. So now, yeah, we can open this. Not that we really. I guess we'll need to in order to loop around. Up. Over. Give the lily to our skeletal friend.
Ember felt pity for the skeleton, without a flower to mark their grave.
I don't know why that came
Ember
as such a
found
surprise
a
to me,
scrap
but
of
it sure
journal.
did.
In the dark, I slip and stumble, land hard upon my knee. Without thinking, I reach for an absent hand.
Right. Two minutes. Do one more and then wrap this episode up.
The spindle
Spindle
was
arm here.
missing a handle, so Ember couldn't turn it.
I'll go. Yeah. Or the boat. I appreciate that you can pretty easily overlook that there's critical requirements to the environment. For example, this rickety bridge, you don't really notice when you first walk over it that it has a spot under it, but it has to have a spot under it in order for us to get over here. So, I like that. I like those little... You know, it's like when you're playing Zelda games, and you're like, oh, I've been seeing these statues all over the place, or this crumbly rock, whatever.
A tremendous, terrifying shape slithered from the shadows. The snake's body coiled around the forlorn like a scaly shield.
Can't get to that forlorn yet. But... here. Water wheel.
Hidden inside was the Wanderer's journal. Alone, I searched. I swallowed hesitation. And at last, the doorway opened. But beyond, there was nothing. I did not understand.
Over here thinking like elaborate. Oh, I gotta put this to here in order to do this and then this. No. I don't need to do any of that. Walk across. We need bring this down, so we bring this to here. Done this in a slightly inefficient way, but that's fine. Climb down this spot. Really banking on needing to have brought this here, and that does not seem to be the case. Oh no. Go over here, I assume. I really was expecting I wonder if... Yeah, okay, okay. That was not for nothing. That's good. Alright. Last one for the day, and then we'll call this episode good.
The stranger's heart was in knots.
Okay, so we need to interrupt it.
Darkness stretched on and on. The sound of faded memory.
I feel like I lucked into that solution more than I actually solved it, but it is what it is.
With tears, the stranger said, "You have reminded me, friend. The beacon."
A minor critique of this game is that it doesn't do the usual, like, when you see this icon, the game is saving. Do not turn off power. I don't know if the game saves, like, when you complete the puzzle, when the he stops talking to you, when you leave the room. I'm just not sure. A way that they could alleviate that is when I go to quit game, put a timestamp on here that says, hey, last save, any unsaved progress will be lost. Last save was 13 seconds ago, or whatever. Enough for me to be like, okay, that's within the time span of me doing that puzzle. I'm not going to lose any real progress. From this screen, I can't really tell. I'm going to take it on faith that I'm good, though. So, if I'm not, I'll just do the puzzle off camera. But yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back soon with more of The Last Campfire. Bye!